We got a unique request today, a good request, a different one. One's a little more philosophical, but because the way I'm doing these videos now to get higher quality, higher uh, audio quality, I got to do it this way. So we're going to do the ads up front like this. Brought to you by Bachelor Pad Economics. Here's my product. Go buy my shit. Give me your fucking money. Who writes? Steven writes. Hey, asshole, I recently saw your video on why the future is decaying, rotting to shit. I know you always bring that point up in your videos and podcasts. My question is, do you think there's anything positive to look forward to in the future? And if you think that counteracts the shittiness, it does not. Let's answer that second question first. It doesn't counteract the shittiness because, one, the way we're going is not sustainable. It's not feasible in the long run. It will inevitably collapse. Two, it is not optimal, which is a pie in the sky goal to aim for. But I like to always aim for excellence. If we kept going the trajectory that the Roman Empire went before it shat the bed, we would have landed on the moon by the time Christopher Columbus was discovering America. And this is the importance of learning from not only your mistakes, but other people's mistakes and not repeating the mistakes of history, because you speed things way the fuck up. And so right now we're succumbing to the same damn weaknesses and lies that previous empires have succumbed to. And now we want bread in circuses and nobody has to work and we can rely on slaves. And then when it collapses, we're going to repeat the whole damn thing all over again. But, I'll be the eternal mythical Cassandra or saying, here's the path, try this way, but no one's going to listen. So that's, it doesn't counteract the shittiness because the few of us that remain could see what, humanity is capable of. We're like, well, if we could achieve so much. But more people are concerned at gazing at their skin color, looking at their plumbing downstairs and trying to figure out how that's going to get them free gimme that's. And then other people like, well, I don't have this right color skin or that right color vagina or that kind of plumbing. So I'm going to make up whole new things. I got the huz and the Asperger's and the autism. I'm disabled and I'm a quadrobulbosaurus sexual. And so then white people can get on that action too. So everyone is obsessed with themselves and not achieving excellence or living their life or just not squandering their time on the planet. So no, even these positive things, which are many and good, it does not counteract the shittiness that people are more obsessed about made up mental illnesses and genders that they just created last week than they are getting someone to fucking Mars or saying, hey, we might get hit by an asteroid. Maybe we should develop, warp travel or something and go colonize the planets. No, it doesn't counteract. So anyway, so I did take some notes and I had to sit down and this wasn't really a deep philosophical one for me, but there is always silver lining. Whatever is bad, there's always a counter opposite good, a true equilibrium, I believe, in kind of, what is it, Buddha, Zen type of way. But not because I want to believe it, but because it's true. There is a karma in the world. And you just got to open your eyes up to see it. And it may not be exactly what you want, but it is what you're going to get. So I've come up with almost 10 items here. The first one is that sanity is the future of wealth. I wrote the article. It is my best post today to this date. And I suggest everyone go read it. You're going to have to go to my Patreon account because I wrote this 16-page brilliant piece. And it nothing, a fart in church, man. I'm like, okay, well, this goes behind the paywall because I'm not gonna. I didn't put my heart and soul into this one for it to be no reason, but it's very germane. It's very pertinent to today because I think going forward, unless we have a true economic collapse, everything is more or less free. We have achieved a post-scarcity world. The major problems that have plagued humanity since it was born until 50, 100 years ago have been solved. We don't have poverty. We really don't. We don't have hunger. We have obesity. And the real reason is you got to train your eyes to see it. People think they're poor because they live in an apartment building and they have a 15-year-old car. They think that they're oppressed. It's like, no, you dumb son of a bitch. You have pretty much the exact same living standards as Bill Gates. Oh, he might have a Ferrari, but your car does the same shit. 98% of the stuff a Ferrari does. Yeah, you're in a small little apartment and he's in this big ass house, but you can only occupy one room at a time. As long as you got a shitter and a bedroom and a little bit of a kitchenette, you're good to go. You're going to have the same life expectancy as Bill Gates. So all those billions of extra dollars won't do you jack shit for, oh, I'm sure it's fun, but even you'll get sick of sushi every day and your Ferrari. And then you can even look, a very poignant example is Steve Jobs. You won't even get to enjoy your billions of dollars. You're going to die of cancer at 57 or whatever he did. So that is the main reason that wealth is becoming increasingly irrelevant. You can have $100,000, you can have $100 million. You're still going to enjoy roughly the same standards of living. Legitimate cases where you live in a bad neighborhood, yeah, then you know, or you're an elite liberal white person and people are shitting on your streets in San Francisco or Portland. There are some exceptions to that rule. Generally speaking, wealth is more or less obsolete now, especially if you're a minimalist. So then what does have any value in life? And with so much wealth flooding the market, we really don't have to worry about poverty, starvation. What do we got? We got people doing this all day and looking at the junk downstairs like, what does it mean to be this color person? What does it mean to have that type of plumbing? Oh, the essence of vagina. Well, wait, do I like dick or do I like cock? What am I internally? And you can just see without any struggle or starvation or poverty, the human mind goes to shit. I mean, we really do care. I mean, what? I was just over at the restaurant today. What's up on the TV? Not the football game, the post analysis game. Who's gonna win the NFC East? And then there's these two schmucks. Well, I think it's gonna be this big of a group of dumb guys paddle on them. The other guys that got the fancier foot action. I think I got that. That's what occupies people's minds. Not like, damn, I gotta protect my family from the horde that might be coming over that mountain. Persukius, do you have your phalanx of men over there? Put the legions over there. Kind of more important shit going on back in the days. Holy shit, it's the Great Depression. Where do we eat? Huh, God. Oh, hey, we're going to build the Hoover Dam. Let's go work that gig. Now it's, do I want to major in women's studies with an emphasis on intersectionality or diversity? So, and they're all going to gun for the money. They're all going. That's because that's how they're programmed to on the boob tube and the internets. You're all supposed to have prestige and status and things. And more importantly than that, they're not even promoting. At least in the 80s, there was materialism. Get that shit because you'll be happier. Now it's Bob, that rat bastard, has $3 more than you. He owes you $1.50 because Bob was oppressing you because of blah and blah. Because he has a different blah and a different colored blah. That's what, and that's insane. That's insane. So everyone is getting spoiled by this Marxist leftist jealousy, green with envy indoctrination. And they're just pissed. Oh, go on social media. Watch these people. That's all they post. Oh, look at this evil person doing that evil thing. And that's how their lives are spent. Meanwhile, they're getting fat, disgusting, physically revolting, piercing their eyebrows, all this other shit. I had another tattoo. I don't have a postage stamp size of skin untainted by a tattoo. That gives you value, lady. Okay. So most people are going to be going insane, if not are already insane already. And the only value, the only thing that has any currency or worth, I think, today and into the future is going to be sanity. To know that it's fun. To know not to major in stupid shit. To know not to go $200,000 in debt for an English degree at Middlebury. All right. To know that your fellow man is the most important thing. To know that falling in love with a spouse and maybe raising children. That's the most important thing. Not your fucking job, not your fucking politics, not the fucking fact that you recycle or you got your own fucking bag when you go grocery shopping. All those fucking ladies over in Tacoma and Seattle with their fucking bag. They are gripping on that with their wrinkly hands now because they got nothing because they're Spencers and the 60s feminists and they hated men and they ain't got no family, no person. Though they got that bag. Oh, they got that bag. So you can kind of see where it's sanity. You'll know. Now, maybe you won't have that nice wife that was the traditional housewife. You won't have that traditional husband who was in shape, rocked your world in bed, and provided for the family. But you will know why. And that is of most value, I think, going into the future. And once again, let's revisit the Black community, because the Black community is the canary in the coal mine here. Imagine the frustration and anger and rage, the maddening experience it is to be a Black individual, and this is the key thing, who still drinks the Democrat Kool-Aid. Like, how many decades, how many generations has it been? 4, 5 now? Whitey, it's the Republicans' fault. Didn't the Republicans fight the Civil War to free the... Yeah, that don't count. Name one thing Republicans have done for Black people. Well, they're the party of Lincoln. They freed the slaves, and they had the Emancipation Proclamation. Name 2 things the Republic... Undercover Brother, great movie. Great movie. But aside from that, imagine what it is, your rank and file Democrat, Black individual, where you've been doing what the Democrat Party has been telling you and your father and your grandfather and your great-grandmother and everyone in between, and you still live in the shit. You're still dead last. Still dead last. And you're still, what is it this time? Whitey, patriarchy, Republicans, what is it? Is it going to be the same slop over and over again? And there's no progress. Imagine how maddening that must be. And I think the only truly happy people that happen to be within the Black community, although you could say this for anyone, are those who live in reality. And those are the guys who've unplugged themselves from the Matrix. Says, dude, this Republican thing, they ain't racist. They're actually kind of welcoming, and they want us to succeed. They just want us to give up the government checks. And another huge one, especially the brothers, they're waking up because they're finally slowly starting to realize that the government has stolen their women. You know, government check or a real Black man? What do you want? Oh, they'll always go for that government check. Not the Black men, they're women. And they're getting pissed. They're waking up. That doesn't mean they're going to start voting Republican and wearing cardigans and talking like Thaddeus, but I have, and that's one of the good things I'll mention later that I see as a good thing. But that's the number one thing I want to point out about what good do I see in the future. For those of us that are truly critical thinkers, for those of us who know the value of humans, know the value of your fellow man, know the value of love, know reality, know economics, we're at least going to understand why the electricity has gone out in California. We're going to understand why it is we can't get a date. We're not going to be sobbing in our wine with our cats as 45-year-old Gen X spinsters trying to figure out why life didn't end up like it's Sex in the City. We may not have the lifestyle we wanted. We may not have the picket fence and the nuclear family, but at least we know why. And we're not going to be tortured every day blaming scapegoats or George Bush or Trump or whoever else for our problems. So that's one thing, if not the biggest thing. Number 2, along the same lines, is what I call enjoy the show. I wrote the book called Enjoy the Decline. I should get my books here. Now there it is. Because I'm not putting ads up in front of it, at least. Here, Enjoy the Decline. Enjoy the Decline is just accepting living with the death of the United States, Western civilization in general. But what I want to do is go beyond that and say, enjoy the show. The left predominantly, not just left, but predominantly the left, has voted to take away what is traditionally given us value, purpose, reason, and agency in life. Family, loved ones, freedom, keeping the majority of our own wealth, the pursuit of happiness. You can't do that with a 40% tax rate and them constantly bitching and whining for more. You just can't do it. But what drives all leftists, or at least hypocritical people, is laziness. And okay, fine, I'm not going to become whatever, vice president of the company because I don't have a vagina, because now it's corporate virtue signaling and we're going to actually be sexist and promote women who are less qualified than men over the men. Fine. Okay, you know what? That's fine. However, for every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. And a perfect example is like, I wrote an article called Let Women Have Corporate America. Why? Say, Aaron, but how are we get to, I did it. No. That wasn't going to happen anyway. You weren't going to be successful in the corporate world. Women, let them go. Well, but then they're going to make all the money. Okay, they make all the money. And consequently, they pay all the taxes. They commute. They have to go for continuing education all the time. They're in a psycho ward now that it's politics that reigns and not profit and efficiency. Let them. And then watch them turn into, what did I say again? 45-year-old Gen X Spencer. Great lady, you got your MBA. God bless. Go make money. By the way, pay those taxes. I'm a minimalist. I'm not paying as much in taxes. I'm going to ride my motorcycle. Thank you for subsidizing these roads, by the way, with you making your $500,000, paying $250,000 so that I can ride these roads and pay my, $12,000 in taxes maybe, state, federal, local sales and property. You paid $250,000. Hey, this is nice being a Democrat. I like this. Go. And then watch them suffer because they're not living in the real world. They're not being true to themselves. The perfect example, there's not to revisit the black community again, but it shows an example. He's a Seattle alderman, city guy. I think he sits on the city council. This was the guy who said that they shouldn't power wash the sidewalks no matter how much shit was on it. Because the spraying hoses would remind some of the older black folk in the that district of being sprayed with fire hoses in the civil rights protests. Now, think what it's like to be that guy every day, that you see whitey behind every tree. you see racism where there isn't. It's like, we're cleaning the shit off the streets. What do you mean this is giving people post-traumatic stress from 1966? What are you talking about? There's shit on the streets. We got to clean it. But there are people, more than you think, who are delusional. And they're suffering because they don't live in the real world. And all I'm saying is watching it. This guy might piss you off that he says something as ludicrous as that. But immediately ask, would I want to be that person? And you look at like, hell no. Now, I've looked the guy up. This guy's had a cushy life his entire life. He's never worked a real job, professional career, politician. But even with that truly privileged, here's an example, a truly privileged lifestyle, he's still pissed off. He's still angry. All the ladies that decide to choose their career and their educations over you boys. All right, you may be pissed off. Like, where are the women at? How come I can't find? Okay, you're not going to get what you wanted. But by God, isn't it funny? All these articles coming out. I can't find a man. There's not enough college-educated men for me and my master's degree in women's studies. It's like, yeah, but there's plenty of tradesmen, but they don't have a degree. Well, I guess you're going to be lonely, lady. It is so bad that you can enjoy the show, watch the show, and it's not a stereotype anymore. It's true. These gals are, you try, hey, menopause, hey, guys like X, Y, and Z. Hey, the math you want doesn't exist. Hey, you want guys to make more than you, but you all got affirmative action promoted to like making 100,000. So there's only 7 to 8% of the male population that makes more. Oh, and you want 6 feet tall too? Now you're down to less than 1%, ladies. And they don't listen. You might get pissed off, but enjoy the show. Now they're freezing their eggs. That is funny. And that's not going to end anytime soon. Such a high percentage of the population has been led to believe a lie. Not only believe the lie, but base their value off of it. That they are, by default, going to pursue that path forever and be guaranteed they're going to damn themselves to misery forever. They're never going to wake up. They're never going to have a mea culpa. They're not going to have an epiphany. They're doomed to be that miserable forever. And therefore, they're going to present a show to us. Oh, another. How many examples of Enjoy the Show can I give you? The baby boomer couple who didn't want to raise their kids right. They oh, everything's you're just wonderful, you're perfect. Oh my God, nothing's too good for my little princess. And then Daddy's Little Princess goes and gets knocked up by Jamal. Which is fine. I'm not saying that's still fine. I'd have several interracial couples. That's fine. I'm talking when then he ain't around no more. And who gets to raise Daddy's little princess, little princesses? It's the baby boomer parents. And you can tell the difference between how do we want to put it? You can tell the difference between grandparent boomers who are with their grandchildren because they're having fun and they're smiling. And the difference between grandparent boomers who are parenting their child's illegitimate child because they don't have a smile. They're not grandparenting. They're parenting again. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the motherfucking show. How many other instances can I give you? Anytime they're living a lie, even though they vote and they cost you via taxes predominantly, there's always something going on in their personal lives that costs them. You could even say feminists, they are probably the most anti-American, anti-freedom, anti-male, anti-traditionalism, just the most hateful group I'd say out there. But have you seen that? Do you ever see them smiling? I know they've wreaked untold damage to family and government and freedom and Western civilization. But can you imagine being a women's studies professor? And that's your life? Enjoy the show. Schadenfreude. Enjoy other people's pain. And so there's going to be no limit to the number of that happening down the road. I mean, it's more fun than watching a movie, I'll tell you that. Way more fun. Here's a predicting value. I am betting that the new James Bond movie, because James Bond's a black woman now. Enjoy that might piss you off, but just watch him lose money on that because people are like, no, James Bond is a white British dude who's James Bond and he's a philanderer. All right, that's James Bond. I don't want to see Wonder Woman being a Latino dude who's in a wheelchair. I want Gal Gadot in that fucking outfit. That's what I want. But you're going to see it fail. So there are going to be many instances. Yes, the James Bond franchise is ruined, but it's not going to be without an equal and opposite pain that you can watch and laugh at. So that's another one there. Okay, here's another one. Technology, we're already at the point through the Industrial Revolution, all that. But I'd even say more so with technology in the digital revolution, that wealth is quasi unlimited. And you're still going to have to work. You're still going to have to do it. But if you are a minimalist, even with socialism, even if they jack up the taxes to 50%, if you decide to get by on your crappy car, you decide, I'm going to major in engineering. After working for 4 or 5 years, you consult at $100 an hour on your side gig. You have so much freedom, man. So much freedom. And you can go galt in this country and really get by, in Western civilization in general. And I only see that changing. If they get a basic guaranteed income, if they're going to do all, and we'll get into other things about how that's going to be afforded later temporarily. But right now, as it is, if you're perfectly happy listening to your podcast, going hiking, playing billiards, playing video games, whatever it is you want to do, you don't have to go out into the fields and work. And especially how women have been indoctrinated and programmed to go and just enslave themselves to the corporation. There's a working class of women that are essentially going to become the next slaves of Western world. Now, a disproportionate number of them are going to go into government, so there's going to be any actual production. But there's going to be enough women, I think, that will keep the lights on for us. So if you want to, in other words, we're going to become like Southern Europe on the Mediterranean. We're going to be those Italian dudes who live at home until the age of 35, drinking vino. Hey, bibbity boppity boppity boopity. Hey, paisano. Hey. Let's go down into the coffee store and drink our espresso or whatever they do. I don't know. I didn't see that. But if you're a minimalist, you're going to have, you can choose to work 10 hours a week and survive. As long as you don't fuck up, as long as you don't have other people's kids, as long as you don't go into debt, as long as you don't major in something stupid, you really don't need that much money to get by. And so, yeah, it's socialism. Yeah, you're not going to be a millionaire, but that was never on the table. The people voted that away. So now instead of working 60 hours a week as a corporate man or the top engineer, you're working 10 and you're chilling out and you're going kayaking. Another thing, this really isn't derived from other people's mistakes, but with the technology, now you can have the most engaging conversation with people across the world. 100 years ago, the minds that were available to your mind were within a 10-mile radius. If you're lucky, you could be exposed to other brilliant minds via books at a library. Now, it is almost, I'd say, 100% democracy, where you could go online and have any intellectual conversation about any topic in the world, and you will find your people. You will find your tribe. So if I guarantee it's out there. Let's say there's a Scotch tape group. Oh boy, people really like Scotch tape. And so there's a you could look it up, Scotch tape discussion board. It's out there. There was a group of guys in Britain who collected mailboxes. That's half insane, but they collect mailboxes. That's what they do. And so even though it's not in person, which is the drawback of it, one of the great things is you can go online. You know, all the people in the discussion room, we're all related, and we're all Venn diagram on one thing. I'd say empiricism, reality, cynicism. And so we get our intellectual stimulation. You would have never had this. Never. And so I think the internet, especially for having intellectual stimulation, conversation about philosophy, ethics, it was never available before, not to this level and not this many minds available to everyone else. Related to the internet, I think there's never been a better opportunity for entrepreneurship, especially since the cost of living are so low. And you can basically sell yourself as an entrepreneur. Women have a huge advantage of men over this because they can just webcam themselves out, which, everyone, well, that's kind of, no. We don't do what ought to be. We do what is Machiavellian and opportunistic. As if a woman wants to hit the gym, you can make $10,000 a month showing your hoo-ha and your boobies on the internet. You don't even have to, you could just play video games. Heck, the one gal, selling bathwater? $35 a bottle. You can make that money, but more importantly, in the long run, I call it like you could a church unto yourself. A lot of people would think, I want to be an online media personality. Well, go do it. Because out of the 7 billion people, I guarantee you there's 1,000 people who are really just going to jive with your personality, your chemistry. They're going to totally dig who you are. And so you get your own kind of quasi congregation. You get 1,000 followers, you can make a decent, not a lot, but you make enough that you could live, especially if you're minimalist. And then I also really like the fact with the internet, dude, you're no longer beholden to boomer bosses. I want to do X, Y, and Z. Now you don't have to go to a company or a bank. And, if you're producing a physical good, yeah. But if you got an idea, you do it on the internet. You go straight to the customer. And so I think that is a huge freedom that we get to look forward to because you can just work from your home. You could do what you want. It really lowered the barrier of entry to getting the ultimate form of freedom. That's self-employment. And that again, let's go back to enjoy the show. Okay, ladies, you go, girl. You go and get the corporate doobie-doo-boo and the body-ba, and you go sell yourself to the corporate world. The new frontier is becoming a company of one from the comforts of your own home. You're not going to commute. What are you fucking kidding me? Commute? So that's another future. That's a good thing to look forward to. The sheep are going to sheep. The sheep are all loading themselves up with MBAs and master's degrees. So that's continuing education, CPA. I got my promotion to the assistant reserve directorship. Like, have fun sitting in the office. Have fun. Another one, I think, once the boomers die, there is going to be a telecommuting revolution. It's already kind of on its underway right now. But I do believe Gen X ain't going to tolerate that shit because Gen X don't want to work. Gen X don't want to commute. So it may be a socialist economy, but we're not going to be stuck in traffic jams. I think you'll see that in our lifetime, where the only people commuting are those that like physically have to be, retail, waiter, wait staff, service industry. And this is not to slam on these people. It's just you're going to get rid of all the white collar workers. Anything dealing with data, it's like, dude, work from home. We're not renting these big ass downtown office buildings. And related to that, I think you're going to actually see at least the cost of housing come down. Maybe not housing prices, but the cost of housing rent come down, because you're going to have this massive amount of real estate space in the form of downtown office buildings. And no one's going to be occupying them anymore, because why the fuck would we? Why are we paying rent? We can work from home or a laptop or a coffee store. And then you're going to have a huge opportunity for lower rents. Now, the problem is those are all downtown, where leftist Marxist policies make it really hard to do any kind of business. So it will slowly come online. But you might see the day that's affordable to live in New York City. It's affordable to live in Chicago. It's affordable to live in San Francisco. May not be any jobs there, but you'll be doing it online. And then you'll say, hey, why do I live downtown San Francisco and pay 70% local income tax when I can move to Texas and that? So it may actually be, you'll just have these big, decrepit commercial buildings downtown, these skyscrapers that are falling apart and unoccupied. Because even though it's a great asset, it'd be like Detroit, the infrastructure's there. We got all the opportunity in the world. Just throw on the switch, upgrade the sewer system a little bit, but the politics just make it that no one's ever going to invest there, because you're investing in a quasi-municipal communist state. You don't own your property there. So there is that revolution I see coming once the boomers die. I also have a prediction. You will see big education fail. The internet has been out long enough. The Zers and whatever's coming after the Zoomers, they have seen the millennials just explode, sink like the Titanic. It's slowly occurring. Some of the smaller private liberal arts colleges, thank God, are filing for bankruptcy. But I think the price of education is just going to get so high that people are going to stop attending. And then they're also going to find on the internet at least a counter argument to the bullshit and propaganda they've been given in school and by their parents and by the media. They're going to say, well, why? I got to spend $100,000 on this degree? And they're going to search, is college worth it? And they're going to find out, no, it's not. They're going to see their brothers and sisters who are older failing to find a job after they got their master's degree in creative writing or philosophy or political science. And so I think we will see it where even employers, as much as I hate them, big tech, they're starting to hire you based off of your skills and not your degree. And once corporate demand goes down for degrees, and we instead look for skills, I think we will live to see the day. Before I die, big education will fail. That bridge will blow up like it did in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And then old Captain will die like the real Captain in the movie. And he dies. So we'll see that. Related to the internet providing an alternative to the propaganda that people are forced to have, I think we'll see, as I mentioned before, a majority of the minority men maybe not convert to the Republican Party, but definitely abandon the Democrat Party. I think the men in particular, the reason I say men is because men want women. Who's competing for their women? Not the white guy, not the white man. It's the government. It's the Democrat Party. And I also seeing how minority women treat minority men. It's shockingly disrespectful, shockingly degrading. Like, are you kidding, lady? Joe the plumber drives a reliable Ford. Not even close to what the minority went. Not even close. They watch too many Cardi B shows and this and that about they expect Mr. Big and all that. And they go get their government check before they even consider dating Joe the plumber. Even though Joe the plumber makes a lot of money, he's an honorable man. And nope. So I think, again, with the internet, minority men are going to say, all right. Yeah. Okay, teacher lady. I know you said it's oppression and racism that's holding me down. Yeah, I got it. We got it loud and clear. You've been telling us for 60 years. What's this shit with our women going and signing up for a government check instead of liking us men and giving us shit? They're going to look that up. And it's not a surprise why if you go to red pill communities and Manister or whatever else, there's I'd say a disproportion, not a hugely disproportionate, but a disproportionate about a minority men because they're treated the worst. They're treated the worst, not by society, but by government and by their women. And the number one thing that drives men is women. And when the women are going to go to the internet. I even wrote this about the red pill penetration rate, where you think, well, this is a fringe part of society. And even on Reddit, like the red pill subreddit is a quarantine thing. Oh, you're sinful. You're bad. Well, go back 15 years ago. Yeah, maybe it was fringe. Now, at least 10, 15%. Hell, it just happened to me yesterday. I was writing. A guy came up. I won't mention his name. He's like, are you Aaron Cleary? I'm like, yeah. Oh, yeah, I watched your show, your video. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's getting out. And guess what? He wasn't a white guy. Black guy. The word is getting out. And right now, 10% of the guys are out there. And I don't know if you study STDs. I had to for the book coming out. If you get 10% infection rate, that shit's going to spread. And then the guy had his nephew with them. I think that the uncle is going to make sure the nephew kind of grows up right, not majoring in stupid shit. The brothers are going to get together. So I think that in the future, if for any other reason, the interesting aspect of this, not whether it actually succeeds or not, I think just as we'll see big education fail, just as I think we'll see rush hour go away, I think you're going to see politics. The Democrats are going to get what they wished for, and they should have been careful what they wished for. They're going to divide the country, but it's going to divide upon what's most important biologically to everyone, and that is sex. It's going to break down by sex, and they're going to lose the male vote. They're going to lose the minority male vote. Now, I think the Democrats will pick up the majority female vote. They'll get more women, but they'll no longer be able to assume and take advantage or take for granted the minority population in the United States. They're only going to be able to get half, predominantly the women. And so I think you will see minority men, again, not convert to the Republican Party, but certainly abandon the Democrat Party. I don't know who they're going to go after anyway, but maybe they just won't vote. Related, I think you're also going to see the red pill becoming more widespread, and you're going to usher in a return to traditionalism on the men's side. I don't think that's going to take on the women's side because, frankly, women, they don't need you guys. They don't. They have the government now. They have society. They have the world's reserve currency. Women, this is a statement of fact. Women do not need men. So there's no demand on the female side for men unless it's frivolous or fun and it gets the VTs going. But in a long-term family formation, having kids type way, they don't need you. They really don't need you. And that's going to be pushed that way. But I think you are going to not only see more and more men waking up, even the soy boys, they're going to wake up and realize they've been lied to too. But you're going to see men just saying, nope, we're going to go back to traditionalism. And they're going to hold their ground. Oh, there'll be the the male feminists, they'll be out there. They're always, because they think that's how they're going to get the pussy. But you're going to see more and more men. It's like, nope, not only are you wrong, these red pill guys are right, because it's reality. And we are going to go and advocate on traditionalism, and we're not going to accept anything but traditionalism. And this will then revert back to sanity is the future of wealth. Are they going to get the girls? No, there's not going to be. There's, for every man that goes and joins traditionalism, or at least advocates it as a philosophy, there's not going to be an equal girl that wakes up, takes the red pill, and says, oh yeah, I really do want to just stay at home and have kids and maybe make some food for my loved ones to show my love that way. There's way too much propaganda and money invested into that racket. But at least the men will be like, nope, we're doing this. We're holding our guns. And you're going to see a continued decrease in marriage, a continued decrease in having kids. You're going to see an increase in vasectomies. You're going to see an increase of what I would call legitimate MGTOW or going ghost, not the woman haters. Just men walking away from the table and going and doing their own things. And it will be a very clear alternative. There will not be this, you can have it all, because the men will basically be saying, no, you can't have this. Nope. No. Children, career, husband, choose two. And that will be what's, at least of the decent quality men, of which there are few. But yeah, I do think, at least within the male community, you're going to see sanity. You're going to see men's, and then that's how a lot of guys ended up in the red pill. It's like, I don't understand this. I'm told X, but I only see Y in the real world. Am I insane? No, you're not insane. You're just lied to. Thank you, Mr. Red Pill people. I'm going to join your community. Hey, welcome to the club. What do we do? Just adhere to truth and reality. Okay. And then I would also say, finally, at least in the medium term, and as far as I'm only concerned, because I will die by that time, I think the rest of the world is so corrupt relative to the Western countries, the Western world, that we're going to have the global currency insured, at least until old Cappy dies. And the reason it has to just stay as long as until I dies, because that's all I give a shit about, and that's all that matters into the world, to me anyway. Because China, Russia, Brazil, and India just are even more corrupt, and some of them have even worse finances than the United States. And they're just not going to become a world reserve currency. They're not going to throne the dollar. Europe, they're even in worse shape, financially speaking. So I do not see, you say, oh, well, won't all this taxation? It's like, no, we're going to get to have our cake and eat it too. We're just going to print off more money. It's not going to trigger inflation in consumer goods anyway. It will trigger inflation in asset prices and tuition, other things you borrow money for, health insurance, health care. But we will not have to pay the taxes. I think they're going to keep the taxes relatively low in the United States, which they are compared to Western worlds. The way we finance our deficit is by printing it off. I think we can get away with that for a while too, because ain't no other country. Dude, if China decided to wake up and crack down on corruption and start having balanced budgets and start reeling in their state-owned enterprises, lending money left and right, and all of a sudden there was like a morality that, like, hey, if we stop bribing each other, and, it's so bad you can write off graft in some of these countries, we might have something to worry about. But I don't expect a country of 1.3 billion to all of a sudden have like this epiphany and wake up tomorrow. So I think other countries' corruption and worse finances kind of allow us, like, oh yeah, ladies, you want us to not only pay for your worthless master's degree by bailing you out of your student loans, but then you want us to print off more money to create a make-work government job for you to produce nothing of real value, but then that way you feel good, and you take it doing it for the children or the poor or the hungry or the old or whatever. Okay, we'll do it. But the men aren't going to pay any more taxes. The hardworking women aren't going to pay any more taxes because that's politically unpopular. We'll just print off more money. You just better hope to God you own a house or stocks before the price is inflated up. So that's it. That's what the positive stuff I see on the world today. That's why those are the good things. And once again, as long as you don't have kids you can't afford, you're a minimalist, you'll be good to go. You'll be fine. Let's go through the super chats if there are any. Okay. Woke Man, $1.99. Was weird running into you yesterday. Oh, yeah, there he is, Woke Man. Yeah. It was cool. He had his nephew with him. He took him out to Perkins. He was going to get some candy or something. I don't know. Ray John, I'm a left-wing authoritarian. Well, that's all left-wing people, Ray John. Communists don't want to give away freedom. They don't want to take less power. That's the idea of the left, is that's more government control and more government money. Well, you can have a lot of gay rights, but you can't have any gun rights. You can smoke a lot of pot, but you can't vape. That is a weird world of the social policy of the left. You'd think it'd be like, yeah, free forever. Yeah, just let people do what they want. Oh, we can't vape. Nonstop Dre for $5. Be graceful that you're smart enough to live in the real world. Seek the truth and not be independent. Not being an independent-minded normie conformie. Cappy ties. Yes. Okay, put it in quotes. The normies who think they're independent-minded. I got a great zinger in the book about independent-mindedness. Oh, you guys are going to love the book. It's going to be, I won't lie to you, it's going to be a long slog, the first 2 chapters, okay? But it has to be done. It has to be done. Piggott, he's like, dude, you got to change this first chapter. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, well, I ought to listen to Piggott. And then I read through it and thought about the overall intent of the book. I'm like, yeah, it's got to be this way. It's really hard. Oh, Cynic in Chief, best Operation Evil business ideas. I'm not telling anybody those. I'll give you the formula, though, because I doubt you're going to land on my type of heroin that I'm creating in my Cappy labs. You want the lies to not be sweet tasting. You want them to be addictive. They have to forgive people of their sins. They have to forgive people of their responsibility and their mistakes. You just got to tell them what they want to hear, but then also provide a rationale as to why nothing is their fault. That is how Operation Evil works. Talk to the Democrat Party. That's what they've done to poor people all over the place. You're not poor because you had 18 kids that majored in stupid shit and got hooked on drugs. No, it's Frank's fault because Frank has $100,000. You don't. Oh, okay, I'll vote for you. Cynic in Chief again. Does anyone want a Cappy Discord server? Do I want a Cappy Discord server? That's Boomer Tech. I don't know. That's not Boomer Tech. Nonstop Dre. Aaron Clary, the hero we need but don't deserve. No. Don't. Everyone deserves their hero. Because I'd be the anti-hero. Like, well, now that we've cut taxes down to 10% and we've balanced the budget, there's no more welfare. Guess you fuckers better find jobs. Bye. My work's done here. And off I fly in my cape. SC, Super Cappy. David Little. Thanks, Cappy. You have been the most beneficial reality check that has changed my adult life and financial pursuits. Thanks you again, man. No problem, Dave. Glad to help out. It's very simple formula. You tell the truth. Because humans can lie all the time, okay? They can lie, and you'll feel good if they lie. Reality never lies. And all of a sudden, if the money ain't there or the job opportunities aren't coming in, that's reality. And so I kind of say, hey, you know what? I'm going to side with reality because in the end, I won't be wrong. Best Operation Evil, religion and politics. You nailed it. You nailed it. Hey, eternal life. Just give me 10%. What do the Muslims charge? I know the Christians is 10%. What do the Muslims charge? I don't even know what the Jews charge. Buddhists, they charge everything. Give up all your worldly possessions. And it was really easy for that guy to do it. I think if I remember the Buddha, the first guy, he was like a prince. Well, yeah, okay, that's easy. You got an insurance plan. Dad. All right. This video brought to you by Worthless, the young person's indispensable guide to choosing the right major. Get that if you give a shit about your future, yourself, and your future life. Speaking of the future, get the book Enjoy the Decline. If you happen to have gone into the bowels of the Titanic and not only seen that the engine room is flooded, but everything's getting flooded, and you're like, God damn, time to get off. You're like, what do you do on the Titanic? You go immediately to the top room and you start pouring yourselves a lot of drinks. And do not bother telling people that the ship is sinking. You get quietly on after you have a drinks and grab some food. You get on that boat, you drop it in the water, and you get the fuck away. And then Bachelor Pad Economics. This is a book for everyone, even though it's written for men in mind. If you believe this or not, retirement planning and investing in finances are universal for everyone, regardless of their plumbing downstairs. But the problem with this is it's truthful. So women aren't going to like it. It doesn't tell them they follow their heart and money will follow. Not once is it mentioned in this almost 500-page book. So that's why I target men, because occasionally they listen. And yes, ladies, I am insulting you so that maybe you actually read the fucking book and actually make some fucking progress closing that wage gap. So you got those books there. What else we got? Reconnaissance Man. This is for you young boys if you want to go out and travel the country and figure out where to move to. It is a short but very instructional book, and it will help you save a lot of money, if not just time, but moving expenses, realtor fees. That shit adds up when you sell your third or fourth house. And that's it. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.